imagine that quickly. Oh my God, that was wonderful. My name is Liz Walker, and I am, thank you. I should have said Reverend Liz Walker, and I am so honored to be here this evening to welcome you to the 4th annual Fall Fête. I've got that right, because I was going to go with feet or fate, but it's fête. This is an extraordinary evening, and I wanted to just quickly tell you a little bit about myself, because I'm imagining most of you are too young to know who I am, but back in the day, I used to do television news about 100 years ago. That was back when there was only 3 channels, and you actually had to go get up and change those bad boys. But I am now a pastor of a small church in Roxbury, and I've been on an incredible journey. And part of my journey has been humanitarian work. I've worked in Europe, I've worked all over Europe, I've worked in East Africa, and I have gotten to see the world. And so for me to be here this evening is really close to my heart, because I love the world, and the world is here. And what you're doing tonight is honoring that relationship and honoring that connection. So let's give a big hand to all of you who are here to honor the work of the Center for Refugee Health and Human Rights at Boston Medical Center, along with the brave and resilient refugees and asylum seekers. It helps each and every day. A big shout out for them, absolutely. In the current climate that we are living in, we know this work is not easy. It is harder than ever. The clients, 476 in the last year alone, come to the center having their lives essentially turned upside down. Each and every person is met with the most caring and compassionate team, a team that knows no bounds when it comes to providing a welcoming haven for those with nowhere else to turn. I call that grace. What happens at this center is grace. And grace is just offering people some safety and some space and some love and compassion. And at its very, and does this look like a sermon breaking out here? Oh, come on now, I will break out into a sermon. But at its most public definition, grace is civility. At its most private definition, grace is forgiveness. But in the middle of all of that, grace is allowing each other space to be whoever you are and to be accepted with respect and dignity and compassion. And that is what happens at this center, and so we honor the work that's going on there, and we honor the people who come. No matter the need, no matter where they are in their journey, clients receive a wide range of services, all which help ease navigating those first scary steps in rebuilding one's life. From career services to psychiatric care, to transportation, to appointments and prescriptions, to BMC's food pantry, the center leaves nothing out of the equation. As the refugee crisis in our world grows, the demand for the center's services will grow as well. What we see happening to innocent men and women and children can often feel overwhelming and surreal. It can seem incomprehensible or leave us feeling hopeless and helpless. But tonight makes a huge difference in what is going on in this world. Every single one of us in this room are participating in change. We are participating in grace. We are participating in love. So with your support, we can increase the center's capacity to care for even more people who have a need, who have risked everything to be here. And we have gotten off to a great start. If I had a drum, this would be the drum roll time. We have raised so far $120,000 toward our goal of $175,000. So we're almost there. And we want to quickly acknowledge the generosity and leadership of all the event sponsors, especially our top sponsors, Pam and Bob Adams, who are here tonight, Stephanie Brown, the Hurwitz-Starfield family, and Liberty Mutual Insurance. A big, big hand for those people. And everyone here will have have the opportunity to help us reach, if not surpass, our goal tonight, whether through the raffle drop with great prizes or by making a donation to our wish list. When I came, they told me this was where all the rich people were, so that means you are the rich people. So we expect much from you tonight. We'll tell you more about that as we go on. We want to let you know that the Boston's mayor, Marty Walsh, is on his way. He's a good friend of ours. He's very busy these days, but he will be here. But our first speaker of the evening is pivotal in caring for our refugees and asylum seekers. I have met you many years ago, right? We just talked about that. We've been around, right? We've been around a little bit, and she's always done good work for the people. I'd like to introduce the co-founder and director of the Refugee Center, Dr. Linda Piowarczyk.
Well, we seem to be having a sermon theme. So I'd like to begin my remarks tonight with a Native American prayer. Grandfather, Great Spirit, all over the world, the faces of living ones are alike. With tenderness they have been born. Look upon your children that they may face the winds and walk the good road to the day of quiet. Grandfather, Great Spirit, fill us with the light. Give us the strength to understand and the eyes to see. Teach us to walk the soft earth as relatives to all that live. We are so grateful to each of you for coming tonight. But what does it mean to walk the soft earth as relatives to all that live? Coming out tonight to support the work that we do each day is an example. We can't repay you, so to speak, but hope that your generosity will be returned to you as a blessing. This is such a time of great uncertainty, in which the bedrock of American society is being challenged on so many fronts simultaneously. The ability to continue our work is affected by mounting fear in communities, potential bans, recent suggestions that immigration judges be evaluated on their speed, refugee admission issues, and whether or not the U.S. will continue to be viewed as a beacon of hope for many from around the world. It's heartbreaking, as at the end of the day, it's about the individual, not the millions. The reality is that being forced into exile could have happened to any one of us. But many of us in this room have been lucky to have been born in a country that has valued freedom and democracy, but it has not been without cost. A wise person once said to me that there will be times in your life that you will need to stand up for what is right, advocate for people who are unable to advocate for themselves, and choose to protect the vulnerable. This is one of those times, and so thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Walsh, and I'm the person who's supposed to introduce the mayor who's not here yet. And I'm in front of a microphone, I might want to sing Mr. DJ, no I'm kidding. Anyway, I really, really do want to thank you all for being here tonight. This is our 4th annual Fall Fête. I can't believe. Do you want to introduce our clients? Oh, was I supposed to do that? No. But never mind, I'm wrong. I think Lynn was supposed to do it. Hi, Dr. Lynn, do you want to introduce the client or do you want me to? Never mind, we're gonna call an audible here. Any Patriots fans in the group? We're gonna introduce our client who's gonna speak in a moment. And then I'll introduce the mayor, who hopefully will be here by then, because otherwise it's gonna be a long night, folks.
So we have the pleasure of introducing the mayor. who has come from Venezuela. He has come from Venezuela to speak to you all tonight. He has a message. So please give him your attention.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. It is a privilege for me being the client speaker, and I want to thank the Boston Center for Refugee and Human Health for this honor. I'm going to start introducing myself a little bit. I am Namir. I am 27 years old, and I am from Venezuela. Unfortunately, right now it is easier to talk about Venezuela because we are on the news every day, or at least once a week, and not for good reasons. But let me talk a bit why I'm here. I led a lot of non-violent and peaceful demonstrations against the current dictatorship in Venezuela for about 8 years. During these years, I was many times brutally attacked, beat up, arrested, and the dictatorship even attempted to kill me several times, until I couldn't be safe any longer, and I didn't have any more option than leave my home, my family, my profession, I am a licensed dentist in Venezuela, and run away for my life and for my freedom. I arrived in Boston in October 2014, a total new country and life for me. I didn't even talk English when I got here. I lived my first winter. Who was here for the winter in 2014 and 2015, I'm sure you can't forget it. The snow was taller, at least as taller than me. I remember I was so happy when I saw the snow. 3 weeks later, I was like, how long is it gonna be? I was referred to the Boston Center for Refugees for therapy by my lawyer from PAIR Project, an amazing organization who represents refugees like me. There are no words to explain how lucky I am for finding the Boston Center for Refugees. They helped me with my health insurance. They helped me to make my resume. Believe me, it is not easy to understand that my 4 pages resume is not going to be read by anyone in this country. Thank you, Linda, for that. And they still take care of me after all this year with therapy, and I want to thank Caitlin. Being a refugee, it is not easy. It is literally being kicked out of your own home. That home that you loved and will always love. We don't just decide to go somewhere else. We are forced to. The only choice we get to make sometimes is the city where we're going, and I couldn't be happier for choosing Boston. And here I am, still dreaming, still hoping, and still fighting. I was not going to give up, and I'm not going to. I'm too stubborn for that. Fortunately, I met amazing people here who now I can call family. Not every refugee has that luck. I also found an amazing job at McMurray & Associates, a law firm where I am a paralegal now, and where I met wonderful people like Kevin and Eliza, and all my coworkers who have been very supportive with me. And besides the job, they gave me friends, and they are all almost here tonight. People who showed me that there is a bunch of people willing to help immigrants and refugees with their heart. Thank you. Also, I've met people like you who are here tonight. And I want you to close your eyes and take out of your mind the image you have right now about your donation to the Boston Center for Refugees. I don't want you to see it like you gave $125 or you gave $1,000 or you gave $5,000 to the center. No. I want you to see it like you gave me, a refugee, the opportunity to keep going to therapy. You gave to another refugee the opportunity to have a lawyer. You gave to a refugee family the opportunity of finding a home. You gave us, the refugee, a second chance in life. That's the real donation you made tonight, and we really, really thank you all. I do not have time to say all I would like to say and explain about how hard being a refugee is. But I do need to say this, even when I was highly advised to try to keep politics away, something I'm not very good at. Ask my government if you don't believe me. But in these difficult times where hate is gaining power among of us, and where we, the immigrants and refugees, are in panic and feeling threatened, that we are not what some ones are trying to make us look like. We are here looking for a second chance to live. We are here to bring hope and to bring love. We are here to tell you all that together, and only together, working hard and with our hearts and helping each other is the only way we can make the world great again. I want to thank to the US and especially to Boston and Massachusetts for being so welcoming with us and for making us feel safe and that we can make this place our home. You're the best. I always remember the famous words of Martin Niemöller when he said that after they already had come for everyone else, they came for him, and there was no one to speak for him. Thankfully, when they came for me, there was still people willing to speak, and it is our job to make sure that there are always people to help rescue others from the darkness and keep the flame of hope always on. Muchas gracias, and thank you very much to the Boston Center for Refugees. Buenas noches.
Thank you very much, Namir. That was very inspirational. We love you. Absolutely. I have been always trying to figure out what power is, and I've decided that power leads with not just head, but heart. So I want to introduce you to one of the most powerful people I know. She's so powerful that she jumped up without an introduction. How can you just go up there? I'm supposed to lead you up there. But she is one of my sheroes in the world because she leads with heart. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of BMC, Kate Walsh.
Those of you who know I can't resist an empty microphone. But seriously, I really do want to thank everyone for hearing. Thank you for sharing your story. You kind of made me cry. I'm learning never to follow, be the last speaker. I'm going to be first next year. That's just for the record. First, I want to really thank you, Reverend Liz Walker, for emceeing tonight's event. You are very, very busy. We are very pleased that you and delighted that you were able to join us tonight. She's a senior pastor of the Roxbury Presbyterian Church and the first African-American news anchor in Boston. Now, some of you look young, but if you don't know, she was like the Walter Cronkite of Boston. and more importantly, had the same degree of integrity and truth in her reporting, which is people have come to respect her. Now she's a beacon of hope and light, and we really thank you for your continued commitment to our city. As always, tonight's a night of celebration. It celebrates the courage of our clients, the hard work of our staff. Dr. Lynn, you are a champ and a champion. You inspire us daily. You remind us when we fall short, me when I fall short, and you make us so proud that you're part of the BMC family. And with that, your team, your patients, we're really just a round of applause. Dr. Lynn. You know, the Refugee Center is really a perfect example of BMC's commitment to providing exceptional care without exception. And it's what healthcare has to become, not only for people who are the most vulnerable amongst us, but for all of us. You know, we jump in and take care of what a patient needs. If it's legal services, if it's food, if it's housing, if it's clothing, if it's a snow shovel, we're here to help you out. And luckily we're able to do this because in Boston, we have an amazing advocate. Tonight's guest of honor, who is not yet here. Oh, yay! Man, I was stretching. Who is here, yay! Mayor Marty Walsh, my brother from another mother. It is, we're actually not related, but it's because of his leadership that our city is a welcoming home to those who flee theirs. Mayor Walsh has been a staunch supporter and a fearless fighter for those whose voices have been silenced by their circumstances. There is no better person who understands why the work we do at BMC and the Refugee Center are so important and so desperately needed. As he himself has said, and I quote, "As a city and as a country, it is not our custom to turn our backs on people in need and who are innocent." Mayor Walsh, during your career, you stepped up, educating our city on the importance of immigration and ensuring our city remains inclusive and hospitable. I want to give the mayor important kudos for an initiative he led, which occurred only 1 month ago, a groundbreaking new defense fund of $1.4 million for immigrants. This important fund will assist this population's legal support and education, all in an effort to keep families together during this process. It's an amazing step to protect our neighbors and to ensure that every person entering our city has an equal opportunity to survive and thrive. Mayor Walsh is a true Boston hero, someone who tirelessly stands up for the underserved and uses his influence to make a powerful impact on those who have no power. I fondly remember and really are deeply appreciative when Boston Medical Center was the first place he visited after his election. It was a great day for our hospital, celebrating the victory, but more important, his clear and obvious commitment to us. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that Mayor Walsh shares our values, a dedication to all individuals, no matter their race or socioeconomic status, gender, heritage, religion, or country of origin. So thank you, Mayor Walsh, for joining us on that special day and for continuing to partner with us as we care for Boston. Your hard work has created an unimaginable opportunity for both our Refugee Center and its clients, and it empowers us to only work harder to serve our patient population. We're so proud to call you our friend. We're fortunate to have you as the city's leader and our voice. Please join me, everyone, in congratulating and welcoming to the podium Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you very much, Kate. I feel like I'm in church. Like I'm up on this pedestal, right, Reverend Walker? Do I hear an amen? I apologize for being late here tonight. I know there was a lot of people recognized and a lot of powerful speakers. I want to thank you all. I want to thank Kate Walsh and BMC for their incredible work they do in our city every day. And I want to certainly thank the Boston Center for Refugee Health and Human Rights, which was founded in 1998, way ahead of its time, particularly in what's going on in the world today. As I look out, I see a lot of friends in the audience from the healthcare world, from the nonprofit world, from different places, and thank you for acknowledging me tonight. But I've said this has been somewhat of a difficult year in this country, I think, with what we've been putting up with the anger or the hate that's come out of Washington, D.C. I've said this more than one time, we're a city of immigrants. I'm a proud son of immigrants. Not all immigrants are refugees, but every immigrant group includes refugees. And I think that it's important for us as a society not to forget that. not to forget the struggles of folks for whatever reason they left their country. People left their country for a lot of different reasons. I guess you could look back in the history of my family potentially, which although they came out during the potato famine, but they went back afterwards, of colonialism. They didn't, you know, coming to America. Genocides, wars, Vietnam, Syria, and other events that happen in different countries. We need to continue to work together as a country. We need to continue to work together as a people to show what our values are. Boston Medical Center and other health facilities, I see East Boston Health Center, that's why I shoot that out. I talked to Manny the other day, and we were talking about how some immigrants and refugees are afraid to go get health care. That's a tough statement, a sad statement, when you think about the United States of America. We have to continue to send strong positive messages out there. I want to thank BMC, because no one gets turned away at the front door. I want to thank the center for the work you do to let people know now more than ever that it's okay to come in. I want to thank all of you that are here today in supporting this great organization. As I said earlier, I apologize for being late, but this center, what the care it provides is incredible. I know that as I look around this room as well, I see a lot of people, and I'm going to guess, go on a limb here, that many of you are like me. You're either first generation or you're born in another country like my mother and father were. And that's a good thing. In the city of Boston, 28% of our residents, of our nearly 700,000 residents, were born in another country. 28% of us, of them. 48% of us are first generation. So more than 75% of the people that live in our city are one boat ride or one plane ride away from being an immigrant. And many of us are immigrants in this country that we came from countries where we were refugees. And I am honored to stand here tonight as mayor of the city of Boston to say the strength of our city is in its people, the strength of our city is in our immigrants and refugees, and the strength of our city will always be to support our people, working with Boston Medical Center, working with the churches, working with the nonprofits to make sure we continue to be a city for all. And I want to... I'm way off script and I wasn't, well, which is fine, I don't really care. I love fighting Washington, by the way, in case you didn't notice. I'm just going to end with this. Thank you for recognizing me. It's not me. It's the people I work with. We have, just one quick story. So, when the president came out with his executive order on immigration, I was in my office and I came in and I saw on TV that the president was doing something, and Dan Cole was there. So what's he doing? And he said he did do an executive order on immigration and how they're going to be going after people. And this was about 3 o'clock, and I got angry and I said to Dan, let's have a press conference. He says, when? I said, at 3:30. And let's talk about this. And we told people we're having a press conference, and I said, if anyone wants to come with me in City Hall, I stand behind me, they're more than welcome. But what I'd really like to do is have all the immigrants who work for us in City Hall to stand behind me. And within a matter of 15 minutes, I had about 40 people in my office that were born in another country that worked for the city. And I also brought some first generation out with me. And Rita, thank you. Rita was there. I want to, you know, and we were able to stand together as a city. And we talked about opening up the city hall for immigrants and refugees. More so refugees, because at the time we didn't know what was going on. And why I say that is because our Office of Immigrant Advancement is there to help people. Our Office of Immigrant Advancement is there to help people become citizens and to understand their rights. Our Office of Elderly Services is also there to help people. Our school department has something on our website to make sure that our young kids that are in school that are worried about ICE coming to the front door and taking their kids, their father and mothers away from them, we're letting them know their rights. There is not one person that, Commissioner Evans from the Boston Police Department is saying we are not going to work with the federal government to round people up, because that's not our job. Our job is in the police department. our hospitals, Boston Medical Center, I could pick up the phone and call Kate and say, we have a parent that has no insurance and is afraid and is not documented and is not worried, and we don't have to worry about the hospital making that phone call. We don't have to worry about our health centers making that phone call. I am blessed to have great people around that think the same way that all of us do in this room. I want to thank Boston Medical Center again for the incredible work that you've done in this city. I want to thank Reverend Liz Walker, who is a spiritual guiding light for so many folks in this city, and as well. She's incredible. These two women are incredible, and so many other folks in here. So thank you very much for the recognition tonight.
So I think we should call you not just Mr. Mayor, but Reverend Mayor, because that really did sound like a sermon, and it was a wonderful sermon, and we thank you for all that you are doing for all of us. So you've heard these inspiring words tonight. I just wanted to add one little bit of an ending to it. We have a trauma-informed tutoring program at our church, and we have little kids from the Dearborn School and the Higgins and Lewis School and schools in the neighborhood who come over, and we try to help them with reading. And last Saturday we were trying to tell stories with these middle school children, and they were very hesitant to tell their stories. And I kind of tried to model a story for them, and then I asked somebody else to do it, and they were really hesitant, and I couldn't figure it out. Of course, they're shy because they're young. It turned out that of 10 kids in a circle, about 5 of them were from, their parents were from Ecuador and Venezuela and Puerto Rico and Cape Verde. And somehow the message had gotten to these children that they had shame about where they're from. And I thought, now where are they getting that? So we think that this ugliness that's happening on one level at CNN and Fox, it's just adult stuff, but it's permeating everything. When children are ashamed to talk about where they're from. I grew up with that shame as an African American person, so I know that that's an ugliness, that's a trauma that we have to get rid of. So your presence here tonight is helping that. It's helping kids fight back. It's helping kids be resilient. It is helping their parents who might be afraid to come out be stronger. The message that we are getting from the world is, and I say this all the time, and if you've heard it before, please forgive me for repeating it, but it is my message. The message you are getting from the media and the world that it is us against them. And that it's a zero-sum game. And either we win or they win, but we can't all win. And that is such a lie. I've been all over the world. There is only us. And it will take us to change things. So we thank you for being here.